have some sort of this, I don't know. But the disciples did it, and after Pentecost, they turned the world upside down. We can do it because communication brings respect. How can I respect you if I don't communicate with you? Oh, I don't like him because he's too arrogant. How you know? Did you communicate with that person? No, but you're going to say he's arrogant. You're going to say he's not responsible. You're going to say that, oh, he's too intelligent because he got a degree. Now, come on. That don't mean anything. You're still supposed to communicate with him. But a lot of us, we don't, because we feel inferior to certain people. And you shouldn't feel inferior. God made us all alike, made us all the same. Only difference between that person and you is maybe that person maybe they have more money than you, and maybe they have a better job than you, and maybe they get bigger pay and got a house and got a car. But that don't make them any better. Only thing is, the idea is they in the different league according to the example of mankind. You belong here, he belong over there. Not in God's kingdom. In God's kingdom, we all one. We all the same at the foot of the cross. Because when we stand at the cross of Jesus, we're the same. When we get on our knees and pray and communicate with God, we all the same. He don't figure that one person is better than the other person. He treats us all alike. He loves us all. Jesus died for all. Not one or two or three, or the high class or the middle class or the low class. No, he died for everybody. You better believe it. He died for everybody. But the same husband and wife, look at, oh my goodness. No, we can't, regardless of what. The mother say one thing, and the children go to the daddy and say, well, mom said I can't do anything. Then the daddy said, oh, don't worry, don't pay no mind. You do like I tell you, you go ahead and do it. Now, that's not communication. Because the wife and the husband are supposed to communicate for the children's sake and bring up the children the right way. Now, I'm going to talk about that later on, but I just want to mention it because that's happening too many times. That's why divorces in the United States is so high. It's pitiful. Because the men get married, how long they stay together? 6 months, maybe a year, maybe 2 years or 3 years, and that's it. Then they go ahead and remarry and get another wife or another husband. No. You have to learn to communicate before you get married. Learn to communicate. When you're only getting, if you two get engaged, learn to communicate. That's the time to start to communicate with one another. And if you're on a job, learn to say hello, good morning, and how you're feeling. You don't know the person. Now, how are you going to become acquainted with the person if you don't speak up? Communication. If the ants can do it, the bees can do it, the birds can do it, why can't we? We as human beings, why? I don't understand that. You see, that's the trouble. Why the church is going down the way it's going down. It's going down for some people falling out. They're falling away from the church. And what they do, they go to the synagogue of Satan. They go to Satan church. Now, I'm not mentioning what is Satan church and what is God's church. I can't tell you what that is. I can only tell you what I know according to the word of God, which is the Bible, right here. What the Bible say. Okay, the Bible do speak about the synagogue of Satan, and there is such a thing. That's why we have to be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. We have to know exactly what to do and how to treat people. Now, if you see a person that is of another denomination or another race, you should learn to communicate with other races. Don't be afraid to say, oh, I can't speak to him because he's of another race. Look, regardless of what, even if they don't even understand, they speak a different language. You still could be good to that person and communicate with them because you make an impression on people. People are very impressionable. When you make an impression on people, people get to like you. And once they like you, they get to like everybody that look like you and act like you, they'll like you. You see? And that's the reason why they have hate in this world. Because you get one person and this person don't like this other person because they pop their hair differently or they look different than what they are, or they speak a different language. There's too much hate in this country. And we got to straighten up and learn to communicate, okay? And then when we communicate, God will bless us, and God would like for us to do exactly like He have done. There was 400 years when heaven and earth didn't communicate. 400 years after Malachi, the book of Malachi. After Malachi, there was no answer from God to the earth because they have no communication. Because Malachi was almost was next to the last prophet. Now he wasn't the last prophet. The last prophet was John. So that's when the New Testament came in. 400 years later. Now can you imagine? No communication. And what happened to the people? And right now, we still don't communicate because we have a lot of people in the upper class, or either in, well, I'd hate to say the White House, but what it may be. But up there, they got all this velocity in their heart that they develop it to the people, and the people just eat it up by looking at TV and looking at the news, and they believe it. They believe it. Why? Because there's no communication. What they do is look at TV because there's no communication. Only thing communicate with them is the television. They don't know how to communicate with the in-laws or their friends or the neighbors or anybody. Only thing they know is what's on the news. I know because he said it, and what make you think he's right? Because it was on the news, I heard it. That don't make him right. Communication, when you come one-to-one, eyeball to eyeball. Now that's the correct communication. And communication brings love. When you get on your knees and pray, that's communicating. You're communicating with God, and you should do that. And you should learn how to communicate. If you don't learn now, I don't know when, because these are last days. So you should learn to communicate, and God will show you how through His Spirit. If you pray and ask God to show you how to communicate with other people, as well as with Him. And when you communicate with Him, believe me, you have Mary in your heart. You have songs, so you feel so good because you know you have communicated. Just like if something happened to you, God forbid, and you go out in the street and run into somebody, and the person walks up to you and say, "How you feeling? You look so sad." And then you get to talking, and the person communicate with you. It makes you feel so good after you leave that person, right? All right then. So you're learning. You have to learn. It's a process. So you should learn and start learning right here and now. Because I'm learning to communicate with you. You should learn to communicate with your friends and your in-laws and your wife and your children. Even in the household, there's a lack of communication. There's a communication breakdown. That's the trouble with us. We can't get along with our own people in our own household. How can we get along with people in our community? Because there's lack of communication. And when you have the communication, it makes you feel good. And not only just that, it's smarten you up too, because your brain gets to functioning much better and everything. Well, anyway, I'm going to leave you now. May God bless you, and take care and learn to communicate. Okay? Thank you.